Some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist. I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Times gone by, I've traded black dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end. One street over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Doing, folks. So glad that you're joining us this morning. This is One Street Over, 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and we just welcome you into it. And we got the red memo. Tiffany comes walking in. We're wearing our red shirts, and I just like mine is the chemical expression of iron sharpens iron. And I say, I got to turn your microphone up. I just think it's kind of funny, and I like to wear it for my kiddos, and they kind of look at it like, oh, what's your shirt say, Miss Vivio? Not Miss LaVern, that's church. At church, there's some of the kids that go to church with me, and at church it's Miss LaVern, and then at school it's Miss Vivio. So it's just kind of funny. But how are you doing?
Good. Is that even a phrase kids use anymore? Iron sharpens iron. They probably don't even know what that means.
There's a lot of Jesus people in school.
Okay.
That know.
Yeah, that's good.
There's a lot. But I mean, it's true. There's so many things we take for granted that people
phrases
knew.
that we don't.
And, you know what's funny? I was messaging Brian Pulley, say, hey, who's coming in? And I hit Siri, and she's been just recording everything I said. I'm glad I didn't send it. I didn't. I mean, it's like I'm sitting here deleting this message.
Oh my goodness,
hysterical.
That's long.
Oh yeah, it's hysterical. So Brian, you're not going to get that one. But I was just messaging to see who was coming in. But anyway, there's one announcement I need to put out before we start talking about Safe Baby Court, and I just want to hear an update.
Okay.
Sean yesterday was telling me, I was talking with Sean Elmore, and I told her you were coming in. She's like, oh, she's rocking it. So I'm like, good. But she's coming in tomorrow, and she's going to tell us all about it. But we need volunteers this Friday, tomorrow at 8 a.m. at Springfield Memorial Gardens. They're going to place 3,200 flags along the road frontage in remembrance of 9/11. And so this is a note that I got actually from Gwen Harder day before yesterday, and I forgot to mention it. And so Lee Marie's going, don't forget to mention this morning, LaVern. So if you want to help put those flags out in remembrance, because 9/11 is next Wednesday, then put those flags out in honor to remember. It's hard to believe how long it's been. Man, do you remember where you were on 9/11?
Oh, absolutely. I remember it.
How
So
old
many
were you?
details.
You're young.
I was in my mid-20s. I was in
Okay.
college.
Okay.
Let's see, I was 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
See, I don't even know how old I was particularly, but I remember I was on the air, when it happened and was watching it live. So
wow.
yeah, we had a Christian station, 101 The Beat. I guess that's still what they call it up in Nashville. It was 101 The One. It was a Christian station for a few years. and we were interviewing the Katinas, and I'll never forget it. We were, Matt Stockman was my, I was a traffic reporter, but I was just like a sidebar. And but I would chime in, oh hey, that's funny, I was that morning show chick. So we were interviewing the Katinas, and I had mentioned we always monitor, the networks and things just to see what's going on, just for news things. And I saw that there was a fire in one of the towers in New York, and I had even said something about it a couple of reports earlier, and I said, hey, there's something weird going on in New York. We might want to keep our eye on the news. And as I'm sitting there, my mic is open, and Matt's asking the guys something, and because I guess they were on phone, but I was watching it, and I saw the plane flying to the tower, and I said, Matt, I stopped him, I interrupted him, I said, there's something going on. And I told him what I had just seen, the airliner flying into it. And he goes, we're going to take a break. And we never came back on. I mean, it was at least a week that we were just at network. We were just at the network, just covering the story. Because everybody most of the big radio stations have a network affiliate, ABC, NBC, CBS, something like that. So we just turned it over to the network affiliate, and we were just all kind of wandering around going, what do we do? And it was just the most bizarre thing, being in the media at that time. It was weird.
I bet. I remember, I was working for the State Family Council for People with Disabilities, and we had a big meeting that day. And I was at my boss's house. We had been there the night before getting everything ready for the meeting. And so when I went to go tell her I was going to go grab the donuts and the juice and meet her there, she points to the TV. She's on the phone. Her husband was out of town. And I thought it was an accident. I thought it had been like an airplane accident. Right. And I was like, oh, that's really sad, but I got to get to this meeting, Yeah. And then right before as I was watching it, that's when the second plane hit. And I was like, this is a really weird accident that two plane, was there something wrong with the signals or what? It wasn't until partway to this meeting, the radio's like, this is a terrorist attack. And I knew the whole world was going to change in that moment.
We had, we do Celebrate Recovery, and we'll get on into what we're supposed to be talking about. But I just want us to really kind of get your mindset. We have a woman that's in Celebrate Recovery that does testimonies around, and I really would love to get her on the air on 9/11. She was working for the Salvation Army in New York.
Oh, wow.
On 9/11.
Oh, wow.
And she goes, I just can't. She goes, I just can't talk about it, And I was like, oh, I can't even imagine. Then Brian Wilson, that's on 99.7 up in Nashville, he was the Washington correspondent for Fox News when all this was going down. And he talks, he came and did a speech up here, and I have that on record, and I share that with my students on 9/11 so they can hear it. I want Brian to come out and do it personally. He's like living on the other side of the world up in Lebanon or Watertown or something. And he's like, I'm not coming down there. That's too far.
It's amazing to me how long ago it seems to my children.
Yeah.
Even though it was right before they were born. But it's like Vietnam was to me, it seemed like it had happened forever ago, but it was right before I was born, and so it's just one of those things where you're like this. And then I think, as my grandma got close to 100, I was like, 100 years ago is really not that long ago. Mm-mm. That was in my grandma's lifetime. She remembers getting electricity. She remembers getting indoor plumbing. And I was like, it's really our world that we live in is so brand new. It's nothing crazy. Like it was 100 years ago, and 100 years was not that long. It's kind of crazy. Yeah,
it is. It's stark. And I told my students, they'll kind of, we've talked about Vietnam because we had the Pitt Carroll Trophy that we just awarded at Greenbrier in Springfield. They have this rivalry. One of them lost a soldier in Vietnam. They both lost soldiers in Vietnam. And so they come together to play this game in their honor. And so we talk about Vietnam. They just don't have a clue. And it just, and again, that happened in my childhood. And anyway, we're just going down. 9/11's next week. Never forget. I remember right after that, a couple of years after, 2-3 years after, we had a field trip on 9/11. And my kids were at Good Pasture. And so I was driving the field trip, and I had painted on the back window of my car, and never forget. And I was intense about it. People were like, calm down, LaVern. But I was just like, how can we do you understand what's happened to our country? And, oh man. But anyway, I think this is wonderful that they're going to do this just to remind people 9/11's coming, and we need to remember. And they're going to be putting those flags out. So we say all that to remind you again, 8 a.m., Springfield Memorial Gardens tomorrow. If you can help put those flags out, come and do it. They got about 3,200 to put out. So it'll be.
Is it one for everybody who died?
I would imagine. And if you want to just have something breathtaking, go and watch the halftime show when U2 sang Streets Have No Name and did the halftime show right after 9/11. It is incredible. It just makes me just, man, it's powerful. But just some of the things that happened. And it's a time we have to remember. And we need to remember all these times. I mean, think about Pearl Harbor and all those things to me just seems, crazy ago, but it really wasn't. So got to remember what we've got's not free and it is not guaranteed. It
think
is
it's
not guaranteed.
one of the things we learn a lot, right? That Christ tells us to remember, because we can forget, like, in one moment how good our life is. One bad thing happens, right? God doesn't love me.
It's like, come on.
Remember everything I have done for you, and this is something that will make you, iron sharpens iron, make you stronger, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, bring a drill if you're going to go help put flags, because the ground has been so dry, and that is like one of the tips I learned from putting pinwheels in for CASA. Like, Leah's like, "Oh, bring a drill," because then you just put the drill in and then put the flag in there.
Well, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
get you a battery operated drill. That's a great idea.
Yeah,
great tip.
Yeah,
a long drill bit.
Yeah, long skinny, because I'm sure those things.
Yeah, so it will be able to go in there and hold and not be tippy.
Yeah, well, it's been pretty dry.
Yeah, very much so. No. Tiffany Thomson without a P, is here. And
in case you need to spell it.
Yeah, and well, because if they need to get in touch with you.
That's true.
I mean, what is your email to reach out?
It's T Thompson without a P at rccourts.com.
And she is the Safe Baby Court coordinator.
Yep.
And explain to people what that means, because when you had to explain it to me, and I understand now, and you have a case, is your caseload full? I have some more questions.
No.
So unpack it for us.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Well,
Tiffany?
you know what? We got our mission statement all up. So if we kind of tear that apart, we can kind of get more into what Safe Baby Court is. But I first like to tell people it's definitely not Safe Haven Baby Box, which started at the same time, and so that's a lot of people get that confused. Yes, it gets very confusing. But the Safe Haven Baby Box is a box at the fire station that people can take their infants to, and it's anonymous, and their baby will stay safe and find a loving home. So that's not that. We are an alternative court, and so some of the other alternative courts that people may be familiar with are like recovery court, veterans court, mental health court, and this is where you really focus on the social problem and not as much of like punishment, consequences. We all know that if somebody's struggling with mental health and they commit a crime, or they're self-medicating with drugs, or that just putting them in jail is really not helping. And this is kind of the same with Safe Baby Court. So when a family is in crisis and they have a child they have to have one child that's in between the ages of 0 to 3. They can be all the way up to their 4th birthday is when they come in. So in that age range, in that early intervention stage, you hear a lot about physical therapy, early intervention, all that stuff. That 0 to 3 is really important. If they have a child in that range, they qualify, their whole family qualifies for Safe Baby Court. And it is really more of an intervention court where we can go in and help the family get services for trauma and for financial stabilization, and really focus on healing instead of on punishment. And so that's kind of, yes, there are still things that they have to do, but they need to heal. And that's kind of what Safe, so that's just an overview, but our mission statement is Robertson County Safe Baby Court is a change initiative where the needs of the infant and childhood long-term mental health are primary. So everything we do focuses on infant and early childhood mental health. We used to think that if it happened when someone was a baby, it didn't matter. And we are learning that's not true. That babies remember, just because they don't have language attached to their memories, doesn't mean that their body doesn't remember or it doesn't affect them. And in fact, because their synapses are firing so much at that's in that stage, they're learning how to soothe, they're learning how to be in the world, that those violent acts either against them or in the home are more impactful than if the child is over 3. And so a child that's in a domestic violence home as an infant usually has more long-term things to overcome than someone who was 5, 6 even. So So yeah, that's the beginning part. Their mental health is primary. One of the other things we used to do is we used to just, in fact, I was on a training yesterday with somebody else like myself, was in child welfare 20 years ago, where we would just go pick a kid up from school and take him to a foster home. So they left their home that morning.
Wow.
And we take him to a foster home that afternoon. Their whole world shifted and changed. Yeah. And there was no hug goodbye to mama. There was no, here's your blanket. Here's your, here's your favorite food. Here, they would go into a home and everything was different. The smell was different. The food was different. The pajamas were different. Everything is different. And for a little child, for me, that's
I can't imagine. Yeah,
I've just been on the road quite a bit this last couple of weeks, and there's no like coming home to your own pillow, your own bed, and your own food, and you don't have to eat out all the time. Even though eating out is good food, a lot of times there's nothing like going home and it's not home. Yeah. And so we all get that way, right? Where we've been eating out way too much. And when I was little and we never went out to eat, I thought that's not a bad problem to have, but now I'm like,
me too. But it's like I totally get it.
Yeah, now it's like, I want to be home anyway. So that's a big part of it is we really focus on the infant and childhood mental health. We know putting a child in foster care causes more trauma. Mm-hmm. We know, but how do we help be as least amount of trauma as possible? Mm-hmm. And then so that healing can come in and healing can start. So that's what, and I like that we word it as it's a change initiative, because my job doesn't just apply to the mamas and the families that come into my office. It applies to the community. What can we do as a community to have better infant and childhood mental health? One of the things that we don't have in this community is very good a lot of childcare options, I should say. We have some really good ones, but they're usually full.
Yeah, there's not.
We don't have enough, right. So I don't want to criticize the ones we have. We've got some great daycares here, so that's another thing. How can we have better options for these families? Some of our families have to choose between taking care of their kids and providing for their kids. Yeah. And that is not anything that a parent should have to decide. Am I going to be able to put food on the table, or am I going to be able to put a roof over their head? Mm-hmm. Am I going to be able to watch them and keep them safe, or am I going to find some creeper off Facebook to watch my kid that I don't know?
What I can afford.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on Facebook every day. Every day there are multiple posts. I have a baby. Where can I take my baby? A lot of our child cares around here are for like 2 and up or 3 and up. Even a year and up, there's not a lot of options for a brand new baby. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a baby. It doesn't matter. It sleeps all day. You can do whatever you want with it. No, so today, one of the things I'm doing is I'm going down to a child care center in Williamson County. It's a nonprofit child care. They also work with kids with special needs. It's called High Hopes. And they have in-house, they have like a physical therapist, an occupational therapist, so that kids with special needs don't have to, like, their parents aren't driving them to appointments all day long. Like, it's all right there in-house.
Oh, wow.
And so we're going to go and learn from them today. And so those are some of the things that I do and advocate for. So I've got a group of people that I've put together, or that, we've put together to help look into starting a nonprofit childcare. And so we're working with Generations Next, which is the parent nonprofit of the Robertson County Sports Alliance.
That's so funny. They were chiming in just a second ago.
I bet they were. Yeah. So that's who we're working with. Okay. They put me on the board, and I was like, okay, as long as we can do childcare, that's who. So that's part of my job, is to make sure that we have good options for good mental health for our children, that are evidence-based childcare. The bonding and the nurturing and all that stuff, and not just put them in a crib because they're babies and they sleep all day long.
That's incredible. And I mean, you are just absolutely in your calling. I mean, I've known you now for a while, and as I hear about your background and what you have, progressed into, I mean, this is you.
Yeah.
It really seems like this is exactly where God needs you.
It's definitely one of those things that when I read the job description, I was like, oh, this is what God's been preparing for.
I mean, it truly does. Yeah. And, maybe me saying that's just your affirmation is like, oh, yeah. Because, I mean, it's just in what Sean was saying yesterday about how you're just knocking it out of the park. And, I mean, people just don't. When I first knew you were comparing it to recovery court and the different things like that. And when I first learned about recovery court and mental health court and all these options, military court, I was, of course, we need to do that.
Right.
And so when they asked me to be on the recovery court board, I was so honored and so thankful to be a part of it. But this is just, to me, just like, well, yeah, we need something to protect these little kids.
Right.
Of course we do. And I'm so thrilled that we have CASA and all that. But what else can we do? And what else is, like you said, it's about helping fix the social issues and not in having to go to jail and do the things to work through these issues. I've so many people I've met in the recovery court world or just in CR and different things. A lot of the things that's going on in their life is because of what happened to them, the trauma as a child. I heard a story just recently about somebody, and hearing about their childhood, I'm like, well, of course they did this stuff. What else did they know? They've not been taught anything else. And it's just breathtaking. And you were talking about having to go and get kids and take them to, foster care whenever they left their home that morning. And just on that, I was just messaging with our Isaiah house. Misty was sending me.
So glad she's back.
I know, just love her to pieces. And she was messaging me about everything that's going on. They're having a fundraiser, so I just want to kind of plug that real quick. It's on October 3rd. And I'll have more details on it. We're going to get them on to talk about the Isaiah 117 house. But it is a place for kids to transition from home to foster care. And it's just a love on them and to kind of help them in that transitional. But there's going to be a fundraiser on the 3rd of October. They're going to have a luncheon that you can be a part of. They're also going to have a dinner. I'm going to host a table for the dinner. So if you want to be at my table for the dinner, be sure and reach out to me. But you can also host tables for the luncheon. So they're going to do it, 2 times.
Oh, cool.
So now that's the same week as the Decisions, Choices, and Option dinner, but it's on Tuesday night and it's in White House. So we're just going to be eating good and raising some money that week. October 1st is DCO, Decisions, Choices, and Option. And then October 3rd, that's the Thursday night, you've got a luncheon and a dinner that you can go and love on Isaiah 117.
Decisions, Choices, and Options is a group we've been wanting to come talk to the Prevention Coalition. So let's do that.
Oh yeah, because they're going to come in and get on radio with me here pretty soon. But
awesome!
I just love them. I've been involved with that ever since I heard about them, because they're going into the schools and teaching kids that abstinence is a choice. Go figure,
right?
Huh? And the kids that go, I didn't know I could not do that. And people just aren't teaching them that. They're just so sexualized.
Right. Yeah, they are.
Anyway, we're going to get off track.
Yeah.
And I hadn't heard from Brian. Maybe if they're not coming in, we'll just talk an hour.
We'll just keep talking.
We'll just keep talking. So, Catherine and he are coming in.
Okay.
So they are coming in. So.
Oh, good. Well, then I've only got a few minutes to get through this. All right.
Let's go.
All right. So the next line of our mission statement is we focus on expedited and lasting permanency aimed at minimizing the effects of trauma on infants, children, and families. So we just had a case that because I was with CASA, for those who don't know, I was with CASA several years ago. I still keep tabs on some of those cases. And we had a case that was in our system before I even started with CASA that just parental rights were terminated. So I think it's been at least 4 years. And so that's a long time for a child to be in limbo, to not know what their last name is, to not know, they live with this family and all they know is this family, but their last name is this. And anyway, so we really focus on expedited and lasting permanency. We want them in a home that they're going to be able to stay in, and we want it to be expedited. We don't want them in limbo for 4 years. The next one is Safe Baby Court is a collaborative community approach to support and create innovative solutions to prevent further abuse and neglect and provide space for empowerment and healing for caregivers and children. So innovative solutions, we're trying to think outside the box. And that's where a lot of my facilitation and mediation stuff comes in. And so because we can get the whole team together. Everybody that's in that child's life can come and sit around the table and we talk about what can we do to really help this child. I know in child welfare, we've been doing this formula for 20 years, but what is it? And one of the things that I've been learning a lot about is child-parent psychotherapy, which is where the child and parent with a facilitator sit down and just play together. And it really helps them work through some of the issues children process through play, because that's what they know. That's their language, right? And so, one of the cases that I've worked with, the children went into the foster home. They started playing with their Barbies, and the foster mom calls me. She's like, the way they're playing with these Barbies is very adultish, and I instantly went to sexualization, right? Because that's, you know, a lot of what we deal with. And they would know they were arguing, the Barbies were arguing in domestic violence ways. And so, that's how we even knew there was domestic violence in the home. We didn't know. That's not why the children were removed. And so we brought that up to mom, and she was like, oh, it was just one time with one guy. And I was like, that's not what your children, you know, are letting us know. If it was one time with one guy, that wouldn't be what's happening. And so we were able to uncover that she has some real needs for counseling and domestic violence help and all that stuff. And so anyway, so yeah, this new kind of therapy where they play together is really helping families heal. And so that's a big part of it, empowerment and healing for caregivers and children. Because like we said, people have asked me a million times, how can you work with child abusers? And I'm like, because I hear their story. And so they also need to heal, right? Anybody who's causing harm to a child also needs to heal. So anyway, and then it's our mission to see each family not just survive, but thrive. So I'm going to memorize this whole thing, but we just got it in final draft. And so, but that's really what it's about. Like, how can we help this family not just get through the DCS process? How can we help this family heal and thrive and do well? And we know as mamas heal, they heal the generations after them. And so, you know, and that just has a ripple effect. And then healed people heal people. And then they go out and they heal others. And so that's really what it's about.
I love it. And I just when I see you in this position, I'm like, well, of course that's where God wants her, you know. And I just think it's a beautiful thing, and I'm just so excited for it. And again, what you're going to see in Franklin, you're going down to Williams County for this. We need that so much here.
Right.
So I just love what we're doing in our community, and people like you that are just such a big part of it. I just love you, sister, so much, and just, you know.
I love being here
to rock it, because you're doing excellent. So is your caseload full?
It is not full. And it is hard for me to like pray for more cases, because you don't want more cases. You don't want there to be the need. Yeah, I know. I was praying last night. I was like, God, I need more work, but I don't want to pray for more cases. So, you know,
there's people falling through the crack that need you.
Yeah,
that's
what
it is. It's like reveal them to me, Lord. Help us to see where the need is, because you know it's out there.
Please just make me your hands and feet. And if there's somebody I can help, please help them to be guided to me. So that's, you know, it has to be DCS referral, and the DCS attorney is the one who sends the referrals over. So she kind of pre-screens them and sends them over. So, I'm just hoping that, you know, that those who need me, I'm here for them. And while we're waiting for my caseload to get full, we're working on the social changes and initiatives that need to happen in the community. But yeah. So, and then we got, you were mentioning fundraisers for Isaiah House, Open Door. I'm sure she talked about yesterday. He's got a fundraiser in October, and so does CASA. So it is a good month to go out and support those that are making a difference.
Chili cook-off the 17th of October for Open Door, and I'm assuming the Boo Bash Bash is what you're
Boo
talking
Bash
about.
Dash, yes.
CASA. How does it? Is it like the Saturday before Halloween?
Always the Saturday before Halloween.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I want so bad to get my grandkids there, because I think they would have a blast. And I got new knees now, so
you can do it.
I'm just digging it. I'm so excited.
Well, they've turned it used to just be a 5K, but Leah and Kathy have really turned it into an event for everybody. So if you're not a runner, that's fine. Come on out.
Go out and walk, or just hang out.
Or
see the folks in costumes and all of that. What a wonderful time. You know, I'm not a big fan of Halloween, but I do like the costumes and things like that. If you keep it fun and take the darkness out of it, and bring the light in, and this is bringing the light in to something that a lot of people try to push darkness into. So, you know, bring the light and start out with the Boo Bash Dash, and that'll keep you all lit up and beautiful and bright for sliding into.
I'm a harvest girl, not a like Halloween. I love the pumpkins and we always dress up, but we dress up like movie characters, you know, stuff like that.
Exactly.
So we try to make it fun and light, but.
Yeah, because we're gonna do the trunk or treat at Greenbrier, you know, so our clubs and stuff, and so our broadcast club, we're gonna do a trunk or treat, And I'm not even going to put it out to the kids. Like, what do you want to do? Because I know it's going to be something dark and creepy.
Right.
And so I'm thinking we're going to do something like Scooby-Doo, because I've got Scooby-Doo in my house.
That'd be fun. Yeah. There you do have
I've got
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo. And so, I've got that great big Great Dane who's about to have a birthday.
I saw a Great Dane in a rescue group the other day. I almost tagged you in it. I was like, who do I know that's got a place for a Great Dane?
Nope, we're good. We've got one.
You're
That's
full.
enough. I'm telling you, it's like having a horse in your house.
I bet.
It's crazy. We got him a safety vest because it's hunting season, and he looks like a fawn. And he has an orange vest.
It's true. I believe it. Yeah.
We don't let him run loose, but when we're out just walking and he takes off for a minute, we don't want him to accidentally get shot.
He is as big as a fawn. You're right. He's a big boy.
Yeah. So, anything else, sister?
No, thank you so much for having me on.
Always.
I'm happy to come talk about infant childhood mental health anytime. And
well, I'm going to try to get you in here once a month if we
Let's
can,
do it.
just to kind of get the update. Because, and again, with all these things that are so connected with fundraisers and stuff that are connected to all this, we'll continue to talk about. Like I said, I'm gonna get Misty in. We'll have to get Leah in for the Boo Bash Dash and all of that. But and of course, decision choice is an option. All these things are interconnected. This is because of my political ties in the past. Everybody's like always coming to me. What can we do to make a difference in our country? Get involved in your community and change it from the inside out. And we are so doing that here in Robertson County, and I'm so proud of us.
absolutely. If you really want to make a big difference, we talk a lot about ACEs, which is adverse childhood experiences, and we know that has huge impact on our mental and physical health as adults. But we're doing a lot more research right now on positive childhood experiences, and one of the biggest things is that they have an adult in their life that cares about them.
Amen.
And that outside of your parents, because hopefully we have that. Not every kid does, but hopefully we have that. But if not, we need one adult that takes it. I don't know if you've ever read the book, The Glass House, and I'll make this real fast. But in that book, she becomes a writer. She writes the book. It's like a autobiography. But she grew up in poverty and abuse, and it was a teacher that told her she had real potential in like newspaper or something like that. And she went into writing and, ended up going to New York and making lots of money and all this stuff because one teacher told her when she said, I hadn't bathed in a week, I was wearing ratty, ugly clothes. And most of us overlook people that smell or look different. And it was a teacher that said, you actually have real talent here. Changed her complete life around. So be that person.
I love it.
Anyway. All right. Thank you so
Love
much,
you, sister.
friend.
And y'all check it out. If you have anybody, if you know of a need for Safe Baby Court, this is your lady right here.
Real fast, we are going to be having a baby shower soon for the Safe Baby Court, and and I will be sending out invitations. So keep an eye on that. You can follow us on Robertson County Safe Baby Court on Facebook, and we'll be posting it there. But we're going to have a baby shower, kind of a ribbon cutting. Well, like
sure excited.
notice on it. I will, and so
we'll get you in.
Yes. So anyway, all right, sounds
Love
good.
you. Love you. Tiffany Thomson, she is with the Safe Baby Court here in Robertson County, and we're just so proud of her and the work she's doing and what Christ is leading her to. And as she makes her way out, we're going to talk about one of our sponsors, Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. You know all about them because I talk about them all the time. They are my oldest and full-time sponsor, and we just love them so much because they do so much for the community. Barry and Rebecca, you'll see them out and about all the time. We're talking about all these different dinners and things like that. Guarantee you they'll pop up somewhere because they are so involved in the community. They're in Cross Plains. They're Cross Plainians. Been there for nearly 30 years, but they both worked in Nashville. They both had other careers before they went into real estate. So they've worked all over Nashville and the surrounding areas. So they understand Robertson County. They specialize in Robertson County properties, but because of their Nashville's experience and the surrounding area experience, they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky because, like me, they're from Kentucky. So they understand what it is to come from a state that has an income tax and what that would mean. If you're working here in the Nashville area in Tennessee and you live in Kentucky, well, how does that weigh out? Rebecca, one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist, she specializes in helping older folks like me that maybe need to downsize. I'm not interested in downsizing, but it could happen one day where I need to. We've got enough land. It's my husband gets done mowing and he starts over. I mean, just immediately. It's just constant. And so, we may get to a point we can't handle that. And if our kids aren't going to come back and build on our land, I mean, it's something we might have to consider. She specializes in that. She can help you with that if you're at that point. You can reach out to her at 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. And, of course, Barry brings all the marketing experience. He was media marketing vice president in Nashville for nearly 17 years. So when he brings that expertise to the table, if you've got property to sell, well, there's no way to make it look any better than what he can do for you with videography, photography, walkthrough tours, drone footage, all the things that you need to make sure your property is seen in the absolute best light. Great friends of the program. Find them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, RobersonCounty.com. And as we always say, please let them know, all of our sponsors, let them know. And as we continue on with the show, Tiffany was with United Way for a very long time. And so she's out there chit-chatting with my guest, and I'm ready for them to come in. I have to say that just loud enough so they hear me, so they can slide on in here. I've got on the banner, I just put United Way because I didn't know who was coming. Well, Catherine and Brian are coming on in here because we love talking to United Way. We compare them to kind of like the chamber. Come on in here, guys. We compare them a little bit to the chamber because our Chamber of Commerce, they're the bridge builder to the businesses in the area. United Way, they're the bridge builder to the nonprofits. And I just think that's a good description for you guys, because if anybody needs to know what's going on in the nonprofits, or you're thinking, oh, my kids need some volunteer hours, you can point them to it without any doubt. And so, Catherine, how are you settling into your new job?
I'm loving it. It's going really good. It's going really great.
So how long has it been now? Because Tiffany went to the baby court, to the safe baby court, and then you came in right behind her. Because I've met all these friends through United Way. Brian and I just hang. You know,
I'm the old timer here now. So
and thank you so much for your little snarky remark after Springfield won.
I mean, I could not help it, and I called the shot too. Did I not tell you they would not score on them? I know. It was just all in fun. All in fun.
Oh, I know. I'm teasing.
All in fun. I know.
Fun. I love the score.
What was the score?
35 to zip.
0
like
things, yeah.
Something for 35.
It's about right. It's about what it normally is. So.
Well, they're a bigger school.
Are
and
they?
It's Springfield. Yes, you know they are. You smarty. Anyway, I love the county rivalries, though. I was teasing.
It's the best part of athletics at any level.
Well, and Dr. Osborne was in here, and she's my boss. She's my principal at Greenbrier, and I did not realize she has worked all over the county, and so I can imagine she really gets it. And she's an East Robertson girl, and now she's at Greenbrier, and I know she gets it back and forth.
Sure.
And but yeah, it's all in fun.
It's all in good fun.
Fun.
It's what makes it fun. The little regional rivalries,
Yes,
the old rivalries. Somebody's uncle played at that school, and you played it, and they have pride in it, and that's what makes it good. So
a lot of fun.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, we just want to see the athletes thriving and doing good and getting their education and doing all that good. So everybody healthy. That's all we care about. But we do want to win. So
well, in Coopertown, which is the feeder school to Springfield, they're playing Greenbrier Middle tonight.
I'm going to tell you, my daughter is cheering for IA. So I've gone to a lot of middle school football games this fall, and Coopertown is the best one I've seen so far. So that
my husband's one of the
they're really good. They are really good. Yeah, I think though.
I'm hoping Greenbrier beats them tonight.
Yeah, I haven't seen Greenbrier. IA plays Greenbrier next week, so I'll see them. I haven't seen them yet, but of the ones I've seen, they were the best ones so far.
There you go.
Yeah, I think they've gone into Springfield and gotten some athletes out there. It seems like I don't know if some of these kids are Coopertown kids. I'm just gonna say. I'm just gonna say.
But anyway, love the football rivalry, and I'm just it's just all fun. Love the kiss of fall in the air and the smell of the smoking barns. And remind me, Catherine, are you from here?
No, I'm originally from Michigan.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And so the smoking barn thing, when did you first experience the smoking barns?
I would say maybe 6 years ago.
What did you think when you first saw it? Did you think they were on fire?
Well, at first, my husband forewarned me. He was like, "This is what happens around here. This is normal." Because I'm like, there is smoke coming out of these barns in the area.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful, and especially in the morning, and it's really enjoyable. So
my brother-in-law from Michigan, he's a pipe fitter, and Upper Peninsula, Michigan. First time he came down to help us do the piping in our house, and he literally was coming down Highway 49, bottom of the hill, and there was a barn, just smoke pouring out of it, and he went running up to the door. Your barn's on fire! The farmer looked at him and goes, that's the back barn. It's supposed to smoke. And we teased him about that. I made him a print. I got a print of a barn smoking and fixed it for him.
Supposed to do that.
That's the back barn. It's supposed to smoke, you Yankee. We teased him about that so bad. But it was
in all
funny.
fairness, if you had never seen that before, you would think that barn is on fire. You know what I mean? Like if you didn't grow up, and I think you just grew up around it. It's just kind of, it's just part of the DNA of where we live. But yeah.
I had my friends from Ukraine were here right before the war started, and we were going around Robertson County, and I was trying so hard to find a barn smoking to show them because they were like, what? They just couldn't understand it. And I found this tobacco chew or chaw thing that they had at they had them at the museum. And I gave Sasha one of those, and he just thought that was the coolest thing ever, But it's anyway. All right, United Way time. We've said hello.
We've done our
What is going on, y'all?
Catherine's got stuff today, I think.
I took some notes. I am prepared. Okay, so, we've got a few different things coming up. But first is Casa has their Boo Bash coming back, which is super exciting. So they're one of our partners, but they have the 5K race. Oh, okay. Sorry. So they have the 5K race, the 1 mile fun run, walk, and all of that participating. You can do a costume contest as well. And you can go to robcocasa.com if you would like to sign up. You can run, walk, sponsor, or just come cheer on the participants.
And it's one of those things I say every year I'm going to get there and something will come up with baseball or something with my kiddos. I just really, because that's late enough in October. We should be done with all of our sports. I really want to get my grandkids there. They're getting old enough now to let them dress up. They're dressing up as elves on the shelf this year, all three of them. So
that's a cute idea.
Oh, listen, their auntie Tay. She comes up with some of the craziest costumes for them, and it's always a theme, and they're just the cutest things ever. So got to get them out there because I want to just see all these kids running. I've seen pictures, and I want so bad to get there. So I'm gonna try again, Leah, but we'll have her in here to talk more about that too. Sure. But that's a great fundraiser and just great fun. Just everything I've seen from it just looks like an absolute blast.
Yeah,
so be a part of Boo Bash Dash Saturday before Halloween, right?
Yep. That's the 26th. I'm gonna go bring my kids. They're gonna be super excited. Yeah. So we've got that. Cope's having their annual clothing drop this Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. Just before the first Friday night in downtown Springfield, which is always fun. They could use a few more volunteers if anybody's interested in that. But that is from 3 to 5, and basically you're taking clothing off of hangers, and
when you said clothing drop, I thought, okay, what are they looking for? But I remember now what they do is it's transitioning summer clothes to winter.
Yes, yep.
And so basically you're just taking and dropping things off the hangers, right? And you just, I know Tiffany last year was saying, oh, my kids think it's great because they're just, like what they want to do in their room. They're just dropping clothes on the floor. And then they gather them. Right.
Yep. And they do that. So you've got that. I had my first Robertson County, Cheatham County partner convening. So we had that just a few weeks ago, and that was really nice. We had it out at the airport, the Springfield and Robertson Airport. So
people don't realize what a great meeting space that is.
Oh, it's super.
First time I've ever been out there. It was really nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's
really
really
nice.
Airport. It's
to
neat.
that. I've been to the airport, but not to to meet.
To the conference room.
Yeah, and do all that. I didn't realize how.
Their new terminal is really, really nice, and so they were very accommodating and had everything set up, and it was wonderful. And Public House did all of our food, and it was great. But it was really good. It was really nice that the partners were able to meet with each other and see, and everybody was able to share anything they had coming on for an event, or they had any challenges that they would like maybe some assistance with if there's somebody else in the room that could help them. And then also October 1st starts our new request for funding process opens again for our United Way. So you can go online and if you unitedway.org and go on there and
if you're a nonprofit,
and you want
to become a partner.
Yeah,
so,
and I
that's
think
on October 1st that opens up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that opens up. And one thing it's really nice. I think obviously associated with funding, but there's so many other things that United Way does for their partners that's not just funding related. And there's so many other bridges that are built and connections that are made between the nonprofits to help each other, and either whether it's a drop-off location or whether or not they just need resources from each other. And there's so many other things encompassed in that United Way umbrella. It's one thing I've really learned in the last 60 days, basically. Well, no, 90 days. That's kind of, there's so many other things. It's not just funding. There's so many things that United Way does.
And you're in a funding season, right?
Yes, it is campaign season. We are doing it all. I've got, we were just talking, I've got kickoffs lined up from here till December, which is fantastic. And this is when we get out and do it. But the better part of it, I mean, obviously we need to raise the funds. It's the backbone of what we do so that we can fund all of our wonderful partner agencies. But I love getting out and getting a chance to get inside of our companies, talk to our donors, talk to people that support us, talk to people that are interested in supporting us or have never supported us and have questions. And I love the hard questions because you feel really good about going out and we put our money where our mouth is. And I know the good work we're doing. We learn all the time what, the different programs we have. We had a community impact meeting yesterday with that side of the house at the United Way office in Nashville, and they focused on the Ryan White, the HIV/AIDS initiative that they've been doing for almost 20 years now, I think.
Oh,
so,
yeah, it's been a long time.
yeah, and just all the work they're doing throughout the state of Tennessee. We are the agency for the state of Tennessee. Like the state government and the federal government funnels their funds through us, and then we do all the work with the healthcare and with the health departments throughout the state. And just they've done some amazing work in the health sector in that, and that is one of our pillars is health. So I'm constantly learning, and so when I get a chance to get out and talk to our companies, it's exciting because you want to make them aware of the resources that are available to them, but then also what their dollars are doing in the community, and that's the part I enjoy talking about. So
Well, and what you were saying about is talking about how you put all those bridges together, and that's one of the things is you go in with these funding partners and you talk to the employees about, did you even know these services were available through United Way? And you make them aware of things that maybe some of the employees maybe need. Maybe there's something where they're, got something coming up and they need to be connected to some of the nonprofits. And I just love how y'all, just like you said, it all intertwines, it all connects. So it's a beautiful program.
And Catherine's doing a really good job of getting out, meeting everybody, and then going through a funding cycle. Being newer, I think is going to be really good for her, just because you really go deep into the process. And I'm gonna put you on the spot here a little bit.
Okay.
Do you need volunteers for allocation to help with
Yes.
allocation?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a plea right there. So if you've ever been interested in that,
Yes, thank
it's
you
a
very
great
much.
opportunity. Yeah, it's a great opportunity to get involved. I've done it. My first year I was here was a funding cycle. I went through it. It's not a huge time commitment, but if you really want to have a stake in where the dollars are going in your community, how all the partner agencies are working together, what they're doing, what their missions are. Literally, if you're interested in any of that, it is a great opportunity to do that. You will go in depth and really learn the process. It was a little bit, I knew it was comprehensive. I did not realize it was that comprehensive. And so when you give $1 to us, trust that we are going the extra mile to make sure it's being applied in the most effective way possible. So it makes our place to live a little better.
So, and it's about vetting, and to kind of what you're talking about is you need volunteers to come in from the community and help United Way to decide which of these partners are going to be the funded partners, which ones are vetted, and the ones that are stable, that we know they're going to do what their mission is to do, right?
Yeah,
And so you need a community group to come together and say, y'all don't decide. That's what I love about that. And I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just assumed you guys is, okay, United Way's decide. No, you guys get the group together from within the community to say, okay, how do we want to allocate these dollars into the community? And that's just amazing to me.
Catherine will guide them through the process. But it's ultimately their decision. And then the board approves it. Now there's checks and balances.
Sure,
so it's
sure,
not like
sure. Of course.
you would have somebody that's cousin works for something and say, well, we want to. No, it's not the way it works. So at the end of it, there has to be approval amongst the volunteers doing it, and then it's submitted to the board. To my knowledge, the board has never declined any of the recommended deals. But there has to be checks and balances to make sure that we're doing everything correctly. But yes, the volunteers do decide completely where the money goes.
How many people do you need? And what typically is a group? Do you get 10 people together? What is the goal for community representatives in that?
I'm not quite sure the exact amount.
See, that's it. I put it on the spot.
Well,
I think
quite
we
sure.
had about 5 to 7.
I thought it was right around
this-
10,
yeah,
8
for
to
this
10.
area.
Okay.
Yeah,
that
but
seems like a
you
decent.
you want them kind of from different areas of life too, so that they have different perspectives. Like
Yeah.
you don't want 5 retired teachers, for instance. So that's great, but they're going to have their lens is going to be this. So you want somebody from the business community. You would love somebody from education. You would love all these deals, because they're going to see things in a different light when they go into these places.
Muriel Barnett, y'all need to call her. She's a retired math teacher.
There you go.
And Muriel, she's going to be like LaVern, quit volunteering me for stuff.
And we love our
No.
retired teachers. I was just
But
using that as an example because we usually
she
have
would be
education.
wonderful
there.
on
Yeah.
this because she's mathematical. I mean, she's a brilliant math teacher, and she's retired, and so I think she would be a wonderful addition. So I'll
Yeah,
reach out
say.
to her and send you her number with her
That'd be wonderful.
permission. She'll be like, LaVern, quit it. But no, I mean, because of her,
Yeah.
she understands it, and
Yeah,
so and she's from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So she's gonna know all this stuff, and I
Yeah,
think that's
that's-
part of it too.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah.
So there will be a volunteer application that they'll fill out.
Okay.
And we're kind of figuring everything out still with that exactly, like for the verbiage on it. But that it'll have like your home county, and then if you're familiar with any additional counties, because
Sure.
maybe
because
you maybe you live in Robertson County, but you work in Cheatham County, or vice versa.
Right.
So you could select multiple counties, or you can select just the county that you reside in, or whatnot. But
Okay. Well,
and then you'll select the different areas that you have some form of previous knowledge in, or you feel confident in, and then
Well, there's several people that come to mind that would be great for this. That I just know this county. Up
I'm
one
happy
side
to
and
take
another.
any
Pass 'em on.
You got
capacity
it.
for the
I will.
suggestions.
I will. And
That'd be
I'll
wonderful.
call and talk to her about it and see if this is something. I've tried to volunteer her for a few things. I know you're retired. What else
Right.
you doing, Muriel?
Now is the time.
If you want to serve, though, this is a great way because it's not a long-term commitment. It's a short burst here.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you get to have a real impact
Yeah.
in how things are being funded in this county, and how, and also to learn, like if you've ever wanted to go through the process to really learn what services are available and what our nonprofits are doing to serve our community. This, I promise you, is going to be the best way to go through that process. And it's not like serving on a board for 3 years or something like that.
Right.
This is a
Yeah.
short process, and you're helping us immensely. And we won't qualify people that really are going to take it seriously because these people put a lot into what they do. Some of them are volunteer run. You know what I mean? They're doing this really for the love of their community. And so we want to make sure everybody's getting the maximum. My job is to raise the funds, obviously, but when it comes to allocation time, we want to make sure that every single dollar that is applied is going to have the maximum impact to better our place to live here.
Outstanding.
So, yeah, that's our goal.
And everything's united way. They tie everything together beautifully. And again, Bridge Builder to the nonprofits, and we're just kind of unpacking some of the things coming up. What else have you got coming? Do you have any more on your calendar that you want to mention, or did you hit the high spots?
That was kind of the main
ones.
points that we've got coming up. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, and then I'm going to do a break, and y'all can talk amongst yourselves. How soon will you start the Thanksgiving box thing?
I love this. Great segue.
Look at that.
We
Perfect.
have
Perfect timing.
had our first meeting last week, and we have another meeting this morning at 9:00. That will be rolling out in the very near future. They're just getting the language together and kind of all the details and distribution points and all those little fine details. But we will have a Robertson County distribution point here because Nashville is like the main hub, and that'll be November 12th. At the soccer stadium again.
That's where they hand them out.
That's
on
where
November 12th?
that's where people bring them, and then from
Okay.
there we distribute them out to all the places. So we'll work with here. We work with United Ministries. We've worked with the Family Collective at the Family Resource Center, and we've worked at Open Door Pregnancy to distribute the actual boxes out. But our office will be the distribution point for this area.
Okay. And I did a couple of those with
Yeah,
my
you
grandkids
did.
last year, and we had so much fun doing that.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to plan on doing that again. Maybe kind of unpack exactly what we're talking about. Let me do my break.
Yeah,
and
go
we'll
ahead.
Come back. But let me talk about Veterans Motorplex. This, it's not going to be long till the racing season is going to be over, y'all. And if you want to get out to the races, you need to do it soon because Veterans Motorplex, they're going to be, hanging it up at the end of October. They might go into November a little bit if they have some rainouts or something like that. And they did get a late start to the season because they did a bunch of renovations out there. And it is absolutely gorgeous. It's wonderful. They have done so much to really improve the racing experience here. And man, we just want to get you out there and just see all the cool things they've got going on. They got a great race happening this weekend. They're going to have Jimmy Libengood, and I may be saying that wrong, Rumble on the Ridge. It's a $2,000 guarantee to win, and they're going to have a lot of just great cars out there. It's a 100-lap pure stock race, and it's to benefit Down syndrome. So it's a fundraiser. They're going to have the Duncan booth out there, and that's a charity that's near and dear to Jerry's heart, and so they do that a lot. But they're going to have a big fundraiser out there this weekend. You're going to want to be a part of it. The weather's looking great. Perfect time to get out to the races. That's, again, this weekend, September 7th, Rumble on the Ridge, and it's to benefit the Down Syndrome Foundation. If you want to get out there, it's at 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. If you want to give them a call, 615-430-3135. That $40 ticket will get your whole family in, up to 6 kids and 2 adults for a $40 ticket price. Individual tickets are about $15. They've got some senior and military discounts, and of course student discounts that you can check out. The gates open at 4:15, but racing starts at 7. It's going to be a beautiful weekend to go to the races. The old Highland Rim Speedway, you can check them out at Veterans Motorplex at the Rim. Follow them at Highland Rim Speedway, the historic speedway here in Robertson County. Kind of one of the best kept secrets for the newbies. Get out to the races. You're going to love it. Go and see them this weekend, and be sure and tell Jerry that. Okay, so we'll talk about boxes together, kind of unpack for folks what they need to be prepared to do.
I'll tell you that. It's we'll have a list of shopping items, and so it's a box, and we'll provide boxes as well. But it's a box of non-perishable items. It's designed to feed a family of 4 for the Thanksgiving weekend, not just a Thanksgiving meal, because as we all know, our kids are home usually Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the weekend. That weekend, it's extra strain. If we've all been in the grocery store anytime in the last 2 years, you know that that how expensive everything is, and so there's added stress on families when they're feeding their family at home for a weekend like that. So there's non-perishable items, not just for a Thanksgiving meal, but then also there will be a gift card, a $25 gift card, and we may up that because again prices have gone up.
Can't really get a turkey anymore
Yeah,
for $25.
I know it's unfortunate, but we will have that in there as well, and it typically is either to Walmart or Kroger, because most of our areas that we serve will have one of those two in their near them in their communities. Because in some cases, you know, we love Publix, are one of our greatest supporters, but you know some places don't have a Publix like where we live. So we try to just make it's not like we're favoring those two places; they're just more common. And so we'll have those. We'll distribute those through United Ministries, again, probably Family Resource Center and Open Door. That's what we've done. I think this is the 5th year we've done it. And they have people that they're already serving and working with, and they will distribute through them. And so we've typically done about 100, 150. So, you know, and that serves a family of 4 boxes in this community. You know, we've done more in certain years. We would love to have.
Electrolux came in and just blew our mind.
Cut us a nice, beautiful check. And then, Ace and I went into the bunker for about a month to get all that done, mainly her. But we would love that again. So if anybody wants to write a giant check, we will take that problem on and deal with it. But our goal is to get as much as we can, take the strains off families around that time, make sure everybody has a good Thanksgiving holiday, but also kind of shine some light on food insecurities in our area. I think a lot of people's like, oh, we were fine around here. Go to one of Sherry's giveaways. She does 2 a year, one in the spring, one in the fall. If you think that everybody's good, because there's a lot of people that are struggling.
Giveaways.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are struggling, and so we want to kind of shine a light on that too, and make people aware of that. But we'll have more details as we come. We're in the beginning stages, but we're close to having some details, and we'll shoot them out to everybody.
Sounds good. Just kind of get that in your head, because I mean, I was talking to my CR folks last night. I mean, in a minute, we're going to be on the holidays, and it's just such a struggle for so many people. And we've just you got to get in front of that and approach it, you know, proactively, so you don't just all of a sudden go, what am I going to do? You know, just like the giving trees and all that with, you know, this is the time that you start thinking about, is your family going to need some help? Do you need to seek some help for your family at Christmas? This is the time you start thinking about it, so it doesn't sneak up on you. So anything else we're missing, you guys?
Oh, yeah, I've got one more. So the health department's partnering with the Family Resource Center for a winter coat drive in October. Okay. And so our office here is going to be one of the drop-off locations. Okay. So you'll be able to go in the vestibule area and just drop off coats. So it'll start the end of September. I'll get the box dropped off to us, and then we'll collect all through October 31st.
What kind of coats? Do they need to be new? Can they be gently used? Because I have a lot of gently used stuff, because I've been going through my parents' house, and I'm cleaning out a lot of my stuff. So that would be one of the
let me find that out.
New's always great.
New's great. I would assume
some that don't
a good
look like
shape
they've
coat
been worn.
would be fine.
Yeah, I'll clarify, but I would assume it would be a gently used.
Gently used. Don't bring you junk.
Yeah.
When people
Please don't.
donate
Yeah.
stuff that just needs to be in the trash, just throw it away.
It drives me
Yeah,
crazy,
I
man.
know,
It's
I
like,
know.
Just throw it away. Just throw it away. Just throw it
Yeah,
away.
yeah, don't do that. I worked long enough at the Benevolent Center up at Madison
Right.
that, oh my goodness, the stuff that people would bring us, it's like, no.
If
no,
you
no.
don't want to wear it, do you think anybody else does?
Well,
Come on,
and the
man.
comment is, well, if
Yeah.
you don't have anything, it's better than nothing. No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Just be-
No, it's not.
Yeah,
you know.
some stuff
And-
is like it doesn't fit right anymore. It's
Yeah.
like I just never really liked the way that felt or whatever. That's fine. You know what I mean? Bring all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Somebody else might love that jacket, but
let
yeah,
it be something that's
Yeah.
usable, and just don't donate just stuff that needs to go in the trash. Anything else?
I think we're good.
think we're
We're just
good.
out and about. Hit right at 8.
I
so,
know we're so
yeah,
good.
Yeah, I
and
know.
y'all got to visit with Tiffany.
We
and all
did. It was
that.
great
It's
to-
good to see you again.
Great to see her.
And so thankful for all you do with United Way. Thankful for you guys for joining us here. And tomorrow is, of course, it is our Faith Friday segment. Lisa Fort's back in the house. And so she'll be here tomorrow to talk to you. We got a full slate of guests for the next few weeks. So hang on because it's going to be fun. And thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for joining us. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a great day.
To the man on the pre